Hey guys, it's Joe, and I'm just, this is part two of a small series that I'm doing on backpacking gear for backpack camping, overnight camping, lighter weight stuff, not necessarily ultralight, but definitely, um, my gear last year when I went to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore wound up being 25 pounds, including food, so I was pretty proud of that number. Because the previous trip was over 35 pounds and I live to regret it. I injured my knees, I injured my shoulder, so I like to keep my weight down as best I can, but I also don't skimp on the luxury items, and I also have a relatively heavy backpack that, because of expense, I'm not willing to replace it quite yet, and I have a relatively heavy sleeping bag, so I'm going to show you some of the other stuff that I take backpack camping with me. Actually, I'll start with one that I don't bring. This was something I bought years ago, an MSR water filtration system, and it's a full pound, and I went canoe camping. I've taken this camping a couple times to Algonquin, and it's a pump system that you use to filter lake water. And it was great while it lasted. And then, of course, I discovered the Sawyer that everybody uses now, the Sawyer Squeeze, which is in this bin. And I will, when I get to it, I'll show it to you. But this did not make the cut. This is too heavy. A pound is too much. So that is not something I'll be taking camping with me in the future. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a mishmash. I'm just going to go through the bin and show you some of the things that I bring and I love. Wilderness wash. We did wash our underwear in a container, which I will show you shortly. I really did appreciate having soap. I really liked having soap. I was glad to have that. Moleskin. We went through a whole pack. My friend who was losing her toenails, she used the whole pack. I haven't yet used it, but I've heard you really need this. I'm glad I brought it with me. I've replenished my stock for next season. Moleskin. I did not shoelaces. Okay, I'm just gonna. These things are imperative. These hot hand warmers. You tear them open. They're luxury items. I'm a very cold sleeper, very cold sleeper. Having one of these literally down your underwear, just along your butt cheek, in your socks, sometimes just at the bottom of your sleeping bag. I cannot say enough about these things. I need these. I very much use them. This is a beautiful item. I love this company. CNOC is the name of the company. And this is just a water bladder, but it's got a few features that I love. You can actually open it this way. It's quite a large opening, and you can scoop out water from the lake. And then this is the perfect size for the Sawyer Squeeze. So squeeze it into your bottles if that's how you choose to do it. You can also use it to carry water. It is legitimately it's got a locking mechanism here. And you can use that to carry water, not just from the lake to your campsite, but also in your bag. I think what I was doing last time was I had a bottle of water that I would drink, but I would carry the dirty lake water in here, and every so often I would refill my bottle because I would always add little packets of Hawaiian Punch or Kool-Aid. I just don't like water. I like flavored water. So I would do that kind of a bottle at a time, but this was 2 liters of lake water. And that's about all you really want to carry, depending on your camp. So I love that thing. Love, love, love. CNOC water bladder. Bug net. Gotta have a bug net. This one's extremely lightweight. I have used it, and I do love it. I don't use the stuff sack. I just bring this with me in my fanny pack. This one's called Ben's. I don't even know what it weighs, but it's extraordinarily lightweight. I did that on purpose. I wanted, where I was going was going to be buggy. I just bought this and I haven't used it yet. In fact, the jury's out. It's just to hold. I actually was going to start using a grease pot instead of my pot to cook in, but I gave my grease pot to my friend Christine. But it's got no handle, so this was just to pick up hot things. It's a silicone pot holder. Jury's out on that. Haven't used it yet. Don't want to make comments on things I don't know. Well, this is unrelated to backpack camping, but I do recommend if you car camp to buy one of these that converts RV electrical to regular electrical, because I car camp and I'll sometimes only get a spot that's made for RVs, but I have an electric cord with my, my stove, my little 1-burner stove, and my chargers for my phone, etc. I like having this device. Unrelated to backpacking though. I do carry with me a cup, a plastic cup. It's in here somewhere, but this is this brand GSI. You get all this stuff at MEC in Canada. I have bowls. I don't take them backpacking with me, but I do take these car camping with me. So sorry, some of this is a mixture. These little guys are GSI pouches, 1-ounce pouches, 2-ounce, small soft-sided storage for your favorite sauces. I actually filled one with sunscreen because I needed to bring sunscreen with me on my trip, and I didn't want to bring a whole bottle. I just wanted to bring that much. So that was good. That's why they're missing, because the one that I used. Baby wipes, imperative. Your canisters for your fuel, which you might see elsewhere. Okay, this was the product I was talking about. We did our laundry, but this thing came in so handy for so many reasons. Okay, let me back up the truck. There is a YouTube channel called Husband Wife Outdoor Life. That is Ashley and Matt from Michigan, who make a lot of amazing videos about how to camp, and they take you on their, they show you how to pack, the whole 9 yards. They recommended this item. It's called a Sea to Summit bucket. And when I was shopping online, I found this one too, and I bought them both. And guess which one got used? You can see this one still in the pack. This is a shower, and I swear to God, it came in so handy at camp. It's extremely lightweight, and it's actually just a big bucket that you can fill with lake water and then hang on a tree. It's like gallons. This is many gallons. 10 liters. Sea to Summit. And then it's got a nozzle, so you can actually unscrew it, and the water comes in. You have a shower at your campsite. Now, we didn't use it as a shower. We used it just to have running water to wash our hands and to clean up our dishes and stuff, and also to refill our jugs in the morning, because to refill our CNOCs in the morning, because this where we were camping the one night, Beaver Creek, I believe it was called, you had to go scale down this very precipice to get down to Lake Superior to get the water. It was just better to get 10 liters all at once and then come back to camp. And I took 2 liters, Renee took 2 liters, we washed our hands, we had dinner and breakfast. It was just a nice way to get a lot of water back to camp. The next day, we filled it with water and the soap suds. We put our underwear in here and we swished them. We did our laundry. We washed our underwear in here. Again, it's only ever going to have lake water or soapy water in it, so I don't care that it's dirty water, because I'm going to filter that water if we drink it anyway. It's just kind of funny. Yes, we washed our underwear in here. Okay, see in here, I've put our dirty underwear and soap suds. Can you see that? This little stuff.
Zoom in.
Wilderness wash. Oh, zoom in, sorry.
There we go.
And so we've put our dirty underwear in this shower, this camp shower, and I'm just agitating.
So do you think Ashley knows this? We should let them know.
I don't know.
We should show her this video. We should link
We
it.
might have learned a thing or two. Now, I can't dump this soapy water at camp because it's, you shouldn't really leave any sort of soapy suds at camp, but I'll put it somewhere away from the water source. I'll dump it in the woods where I crapped this morning. And then, oh, I love this thing. I can't say enough about the Sea to Summit shower. What is this? I didn't use this, but my friend did, and I'm considering using it. It's a climate pillow topper. It's a down-filled pillow. Again, when you're counting ounces, you might not want this, but if you need a pillow, down is sometimes nice. But again, I swear by this. This one was my dollar store find. So I haven't used this. My friend did. You can tell I go shopping on Amazon quite a bit. This was another climate pillow that I chose not to use. It's called the Cush. It's really long and skinny. Chose not to use that one. My cook system is just this canister that you put on top of your stove. It came with a second pot. I didn't bring that with me. Again, counting ounces. I bought these little tiny bottles. I got these. I'm gonna put the link below. I'll try and put the links below for all this stuff. This was purchased at a store that sold the bag liners. I have a pack liner called Nilo Flume, Nyloflume, which is just a crunchy, crinkly plastic that I actually was using just to keep things dry in my backpack in case it rained or in case my backpack got wet. I don't know that my backpack's even waterproof, so just to be on the safe side. But I wound up using it as a compression bag for my sleeping bag, which is very voluminous. My sleeping bag, I wanted to crush it down to a smaller size to fit in that pack. I had quite a largely stuffed pack. And this was from the same company. They're little bottles for just, things like oil, if you want like vegetable oil for cooking, or if you want certain sauces, or maybe even eye drops, or I don't know, little bottles. There's my Sawyer Squeeze. I really, really, really do love that Sawyer product. You screw it onto the top of either your bottle or your CNOC bag, and then you squeeze the lake water through the filtration system. And this filters lake water to a drinkable state, and it weighs nothing compared to that 1 pound behemoth I showed you earlier. I have my previous water filtration system was called MSR, and it was a pump system, Mini Works. I loved it while it lasted. It was all I knew, but I don't use this anymore. Maybe for canoeing, or maybe if there's multiple people, it might actually have more throughput. But for me, my Sawyer is perfect. All right, this is a massive bin of. Now this was something I bought, and I've used it a couple of times, but I don't know that I would bring it backpacking with me. But I might. It's a Sheeness, or a Stantepee device for women. I do like it. I don't love it. I have mixed feelings about Sheenesses because I think as a female-bodied person, you're taught to sit and pee or squat and pee. And I found standing and releasing my bladder actually a difficult process. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel right. Then it was messy. Then I had to clean this after the fact, or rinse it, and there might not have been water sources around. I have since perfected squatting to pee. I'm pretty good at it. I'm fast. I don't really feel like I need this, but I have used it a couple of times in earlier days. This is such a mishmash of stuff that I use for backpacking and car camping. We do believe in the backpacking world about duplication. You really should have double of you should have backup systems. So I usually bring a few tabs with me for water filtration in case that Sawyer gets lost or broken or frozen and malfunctions. You really should have another way of purifying water. So I do bring just like this many in my pack with my emergency supplies. I mean, just a few to get you through the couple of days or whatever. There is, is that? I think this was my emergency pack. And I may not actually need everything that's in it. A bit of hand cream, that's not really necessary. Chapstick might be a bit necessary. I don't know that I needed this. I thought we might have to need a bear bag. We would have to string our food up the tree, but where we camped there were bear boxes. We did not need to string. But I did have a cord to string our food up a tree should we have needed it. I brought extra contacts. I don't typically wear contacts, but in case my glasses got broken. Then this stuff, which is called, what is it called? Gorilla Tape? Gear Aid. It's this, it'll fix your tent. It's this tape that you can cut and it'll fix your sleeping bag. If feathers are coming out of your sleeping bag or if your tent is ripped, this stuff is magic. And a few alcohol prep pads, band-aids, cable ties, and then a little tiny sewing kit and some dental floss. Dental floss is really strong. You can sew with it. You can sew stuff up with dental floss. I didn't bring, the stove that I brought camping with me broke. On trail it was, forget the brand name, but it was shaped like you'd screw it onto your stove, and then it was this, and it bent. So I luckily returned it. I've been shopping at Sale lately, SAIL. It's a Canadian store, much like Mac, but it's not a co-op. I guess it's like REI in the States. They have an amazing return policy, really good staff. I ended up getting this one. It's the one a lot of people use. MSR Pocket Rocket. So this is a little camp stove, which I'll be using in the future. And I've heard good things about it, and it's really super lightweight. And it fits in my pot, which my other one didn't. My other one was kind of, it was big, and I don't know how it got bent, but this can fit in there no problem. I don't even need the case it came in. I've just been keeping it in storage this way. But I love these little camp stoves. They're fantastic. They really are. They're great. No complaints. So something I did not bring with me, but I will be bringing in the future, tick remover. Ticks are a big problem in certain states and in certain provinces, and we do have a tick problem around here. The idea of getting Lyme disease scares the crap out of me. I would really rather be safe than sorry. It's light. I can even put it in my emergency kit. In there, I do have a head lamp, which I can't find. There's a few things that are not in this bin. This was something I brought with me. I decided I may or may not bring it in the future. It's a dry light microfiber towel. It's actually like if you swim in the lake, you can dry off with this towel. Since I shaved my head and I have no hair, in the old days I had really long hair. I used to worry about how to dry my hair off. I considered bringing this. I did bring it. Did I bring it? I think I brought it, and I think I didn't use it, to be honest with you. But we didn't jump in the lake. It was Lake Superior. It was so cold. If I were to go to a place where there was swimming, I might bring something like this to dry off with. This is something that I took with me the first trip to Algonquin, and I remember Christine said to me, "You're nuts. This is a pound. You're crazy. It's dead weight." And sure enough, that was the 35-pound trip. She said, "You're going to regret bringing this," but we did not regret bringing it. It's a hammock, and when we got to camp, we put up the hammock, and Christine and I fought over it. And I remember at one point she said, "Oh, I was wrong to judge you. This is the bomb. This is great." Like, it depends what you're doing and where you're going. If it's a through hike and you're just sleeping at night at camp, you might not want. But if you're thinking Algonquin, we hiked into our site, we stayed there for a full day, and then we hiked back to the car. So for that day that I stayed at camp, I was in a lot of pain. I had never hiked 5K with a 35-pound backpack before, so I just wanted to relax and spend the day reading a book, and that's exactly what I did in this hammock. It was amazing. I think this might be, I mean, there's tons of stuff in here, but a lot of it is car camping stuff. I mean, I've got this little guy for sweeping out the tent, tons and tons of D-rings. There's a lot of stuff that I collect. When I embarked upon the backpack trip, I really had to whittle stuff down. And I just wanted to showcase some of these items that were amazing and that I'm really glad that I bought. There's the Nilo flume bag. Really swear by that one too. But for now, I'm going to leave it at that. That is some of the stuff that I took backpack camping with me. Some of the things, again, I'll repeat that I really highly recommend are the Sawyer Squeeze water filtration, the Sea to Summit pocket shower, which I don't know what it is in ounces, but for me, this was really a wonderful thing. I will take this with me again. Your stove, okay, so your big three is your tent, River Country 2-pound trekking pole tent, and your trekking poles. Your mat and sleeping bag, which I use a Climate Static V. It's the insulated camping mat. It's amazing. It's about $100. I swear by it. I love it. No complaints. And my sleeping bags, a Columbia Omni Heat. I forget what's Reactor. It's an old one. They don't sell them anymore, but it's that silver lined bag because I'm such a cold sleeper. It's very heavy. I'd like to replace it, but in the meantime, I love it. Yeah, I always say to people, I'm much like Steve Wallace. If you ever watch the YouTuber Steve Wallace, Wallis, he's a Canadian who lives in northern Alberta, who uses Walmart tents and bags to sleep. He doesn't care. Like he's a winter camper and he's kind of a kooky guy, but he's really big into you don't need the good gear. You really legitimately don't. You should camp even if you can't afford it. Borrow some gear, get some cheap Walmart stuff, and just enjoy the outdoors. I started car camping in my mid-30s, and I only got backpacking in my early 40s. I mean, no, yeah, I only started backpacking in 2011. I was 39, I guess, maybe the summer I turned 40. So if I can do this, you can do this. And you don't need a lot of gear. You need a place to sleep. You need stuff to cook with and eat. Some people don't even use a stove. They literally bring granola bars and trail mix and jerky. And you just need a backpack and a way to filter water. And off you go into the wild blue yonder. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. My hope with these videos is to inspire people to hike, especially if you think you're unable, if you think you're overweight, or if you think you're too old, or if things hurt. My inclination is to say, try, and focus on the good, focus on the things you can do, not the things you can't do. I learned from my 2 Algonquin trips that I am really, really, really crappy at ups and downs, mountainous ranges. So I picked pictured rocks because it was a lot less ups and downs. It was quite a flat trail. Now, I'm not saying it was easy. There were up and down parts, but I really, my friend lives in PEI. You can hike that rail trail that goes across PEI. I mean, you can find flat trails if mountains are a problem. You can find trails that are in warmer climates if you don't like the cold. You can find trails that are close to water, so you don't have to carry as much water. You just, there's always puddles or ponds or along the lake shore. You can always find something. You can do a 5K trip, which is usually about you can make that a day trip. But I definitely recommend trying it, giving it a whirl, even if it hurts. You'll notice if something hurts. Like my hip hurt the whole time I did it, But that's it. It was only my hip that hurt. My head didn't hurt. My feet didn't hurt. You should wear good shoes, good clothes. I can do another video about that later because I really got some good shoes and good clothes to do this with. But yeah, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the hike. Hike your own hike. Don't let anybody tell you what you should do or that your gear is crap. Just do it anyway. And happy camping.